We are on Module 8, Lesson 4, Compound Interest. So you already know, want you to evaluate these problems. That means I need answers, numbers. And those are the answers you should have put in Edpuzzle. These are our standards. And this is the objective. You are able to solve problems involving compound interest. So this is not our first time talking about interest. This is our first time talking about compound interest, and it's that it is calculated based on the initial amount invested and on the accumulated interest from previous periods. Because the amount earned or owed increases by a constant percent rate of change, compound interest can be modeled as an exponential function. So here go your compound interest equation. Please remember what each variable in this equation represents. A is your current amount. R is the annual interest rate expressed as a decimal. Please do not put it in the equation as a percentage. N is the number of times the interest is compounded each year. T is the time in years. And P is the principal. Or we say your initial amount, what you start off with when T is 0. So we got a problem. Mitchell deposits $400 into an account that pays 3.79% annually interest, compounded weekly. After how many years will the balance of the account be 500? So here we're dealing with weekly. How many weeks is in a year? If you said 52, good job. Then we have a percentage. What is 3.79% as a decimal? You should have said 0.0379. So my step 1 is to just write the equation to represent the balance after 10 years. So with all the information they gave me, P was 400, R is 0.0379, and N is 52. Remember, because they're 52 months, 52 weeks in a year. That's where that 52 come from. And now we plug it into our equation and simplify it to now we have a nice equation we can use to figure out my answer. So now, we talked about exponents, and now I'm going to tell you how to undo an exponent. And we're going to talk about log. So, I need you to understand that we can use log to determine a power. So on the screen you see y equals x raised to the n. If we didn't know what n was, we can rewrite it as the log of y equals n times the log of x to find n. I also gave you an example. Log is that button on your calculator you always was wondering why is it there. Now you know. All right, so this is your equation. Now, this is where it get a little tricky at when it comes to part B. Part B want us to determine when the account will reach 500. So this 500 will replace the A. So I want you to write this down. So, of course, your classmate turned my volume off my video. But basically, once you write the equation down, we are trying to find T. So your first step is to divide by that 400. So we're dividing both sides by 400. So 500 divided by 400 is 5 over 4, or we can write it as 1.25. So now we have 1.00073 raised to the 52. T equals 1.25. Now, again, we need to find T, and T is one of my exponents. So this is where I'm going to use log to help me find T. So the exponent, which is 52T, is going to be multiplied by the log of 1.00073. And it's going to equal the log of 1.25 if I can ever get there. So that is what I'm writing now. Log 1.25 equals, again, I'm taking that 52t and bringing it in the front. So that is 52t times the log, come on girl, of 1.00073. So now this is where you need your calculator, because we cannot do this math without one, and you need a scientific one. So now we need to get t by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by log 1.00073 on both sides. So you're going to see me do it on both sides. So now we got to get the calculator because I need to figure what that is. Yeah, that's your classmate. He letting you know what calculator we using. Very silly. So in the calculator, once you find out what log 1.25 divided by the log of 1.00073 is, you should get 305.787. And again, that equals 52t. So your last step is to divide by the coefficient in front of t, which is 52. So we're dividing both sides by 52. And again, we're going to get a decimal number. So we were going to have to round because t represent years. So we got about, move your big fat hand, girl. I can't even see. What did I say? 5.88. Yes, that's what it was. So we got about 5.88. So it seems like it's going to take about 6 years to reach the balance of $500. So that is the end of the video and the notes. That is it for lesson 4. Please make sure you complete the practice on McGraw-Hill. That is a part of your classwork grade. If you have any questions, circle them. Let me know the next day if you're watching this at home, or if you're watching this in class. Please come up to me so you can get some help.